Hi, my name is LaDawn Weston. I am profiling the career of CASA Executive Director. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate, and I have been a volunteer CASA for a little over 6 years now and have worked really closely with the local CASA director of my program. Just a little bit of background information about what CASA is. It began a little over 25 years ago in Seattle, where that judge decided that he needed a little bit more information about the children that were coming through his court system. So he turned to the community, and they provided volunteers that, would investigate that child's situation and bring to light any information that the judge could use as he was making decisions about their lives. So that program was such a success that it was implemented nationally around 1990 when the U.S. Congress enacted the Victims of Child Abuse Act. And so every child has the right to be appointed a CASA when they enter the court system. So the CASA director is basically in charge of all of those volunteers. In my particular county, there are about 166 children that are removed from their homes annually that need a CASA, and we have about 70 volunteers. So, the workload of those other children that don't get a CASA falls to the CASA executive director. My particular CASA director is a full-time employee, but nationally about 79% work full-time, while 21% work part-time. The average salary range is $45,000 all the way up to $66,000. It kind of depends on the local program and where you're located. My particular CASA executive director does not have a degree, either a graduate degree or a bachelor's degree, but she did have about 10 years experience being a CASA. So, it depends on the program. I found that some require a master's degree to be the executive director, and then others do not require a degree at all, but some related work experience. The work environment for my CASA director is pretty flexible and family friendly. She has a family and is very involved with her kids. She does have to be in court every Tuesday for the court hearings, and then any other special court hearings she must be there as well. So, there's a degree of flexibility, but there are also some set times where she has to be there. They work in the court house in a tiny little space, but it works for them. She is in charge of one other part-time employee, the volunteer coordinator. Other executive directors can manage a staff of up to 10 people. It kind of depends on the size of your program. Some of her responsibilities are, what I already mentioned about overseeing the volunteers. It's her job to recruit those volunteers every year as well. And so she sets up advertising campaigns, and then once those volunteers come, she has to oversee their training and make sure that they receive additional training through the life of their volunteer work. Other responsibilities, she has to ensure the best interest of every child that is in need of services, also known as CHINs, and are represented in court either by herself or a volunteer. She has to ensure that state and national certifications for CASA are followed for the integrity of the program. She's responsible for developing and maintaining and justifying all of the budgets for her local program. And she also prepares statistical reports for state and national associations. She sets goals and has to implement them for our local program. She is responsible for organizing and implementing, like I said, the recruitment of CASA volunteers. And she also is in charge of ensuring that we all have a working relationship with other governmental agencies, such as Department of Child Services and elected officials, such as the judges. She also speaks publicly on behalf of CASA, and she undergoes yearly professional development herself. So a lot of responsibility for this position, but very, very rewarding in her words.